up, cucks? It's your boy, the hater, up in this piece. CM Punk is going to do commentary on the Drew McIntyre match. Nobody cares, so let's move on real quick. So the hater has been demonetized, as part of the YouTube growth. It's a rite of passage. We're working on fixing that. Some of you have emailed me and said, how can I donate? Please don't. If you want to, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say no to free money. But no, there's no need for that. This is not the hater's job. Obviously, I don't do this for the money. But the money was starting to feel a little bit good. I was making a few $100s here and there. You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to work to fix that. But until then, not that I ever have any restrictions because I always say what I want. But here's a nice little thing. Cock, fuck, shit, bitch, dick, cunt. I can say whatever I want when I'm not monetized. But anyways, let's talk about the thing that happened this week that was actually really entertaining on Raw. And that is this. That is this, cuz. That's the Raw. All right. It was a brief moment where I got a phone call, but I think I left off at this point. Look at you now. Just beating the hell out of Cody Rhodes. This was one of the great wrestling beatdowns of all time. Now, I'm not going to say it's a good thing because, in my opinion, no face should be beaten down by a heel this badly almost ever, right? The only kind of faces that could be beaten down like this would be like a monster character, like an Abyss or a Kane or something like that, right? Where you can beat them and then they'll come back stronger. But Cody Rhodes is just like a regular wrestler, and The Rock just pretty much treated him like the jobber that he is, right? This made The Rock look really good. The Rock was just looking swole as hell. The brawl took place outside. Cody Rhodes was crawling through the rain like a dog, right? The Rock took his belt. He should have whipped him with it a couple of times. Took Cody's blood, smeared it on the belt, and that's the belt he's going to give to Mama Rhodes. Now, obviously, all signs point to Cucky Rhodes eventually coming out on top of this, right? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The truth is that he has been made to look like a complete buffoon this entire time. He does not feel like someone that's ready to be a champion. Now, in every brawl ever in wrestling, right, there's certain dynamics that exist. There's your typical Stone Cold Steve Austin brawl, where Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out and beats up like Shannon Moore or something, right? And it's completely one-sided because it's Stone Cold and Shannon Moore. In this one, Cody Rhodes felt a lot like Shannon Moore. Then we have the back and forth brawls, right? Where someone might get the upper hand, but the other guy gets some offense in, right? Especially true for long brawls, right? A lot of times, backstage attacks are like blindsides, and the face has to be held back as the heel cowardly runs away when the face gets the upper hand. Then we've got a brawl that stands time, right? That is one of the greatest brawls ever, and that is the Stone Cold Booker T grocery store brawl. And even though Booker T was a main eventer, he was the heel, right? He was the heel, and he represented WCW, which not only represents heels, but it also represents the inferior company. So Booker T had to take that beating, of course, right? Stone Cold had to come out looking strong because Booker T is from the other company, right? So we couldn't really have it be like a back and forth match. And, again, Stone Cold is the face, so of course he's going to lay the smackdown on Booker T. But seldom have I seen brawls like this, where it's just a one-sided beatdown that the heel administers thoroughly to the face, right? The only people capable of receiving such beatings are cuckold wrestlers like Cody Rhodes, right? The truth is that by having Cody Rhodes get his ass beat and The Rock just kicking him while he's down and saying, look at you now, and just keep kicking him and everything else, right? Cody Rhodes doesn't really lose any face because we all know that in real life, if The Rock wanted to, he could do exactly that to Cody Rhodes, right? Now, I will say one thing that I think this brawl takes away from, right? For better or for worse, right? One of you made this comment in my other video, I think, right? And it was a very astute comment, and that is this. The Rock has completely stolen the spotlight from Roman Reigns. The primary feud no longer is Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. It now feels like it's The Rock versus Cody Rhodes. So, as a result, a lot of people are saying Roman Reigns is stale and all this other crap, right? Which may or may not be true. It doesn't even matter. Roman Reigns at this point is just like a god. Like, he's there. The whole point is nobody can beat him. Nobody can stop his title reign. But The Rock, at the same time as this is happening, The Rock has once again proven that he is entertainment personified, right? He can come out there, he can cut a promo essentially while he's beating up Cody Rhodes, who could never do what The Rock does. Like, imagine Cody Rhodes doing this as a heel. Like, it's just, you couldn't imagine it, right? The Rock, even though he hasn't been a heel in years, right? Really in decades, he can come back and play a heel, and it's supernatural. It comes off entertaining. It comes off realistic. He looks like $1,000,000 with his shirt and big-ass muscles and everything, and Cody Rhodes is just smaller than him, less entertaining than him, less eloquent than him. Like, he's just lesser than The Rock in basically every way. I mean, let's be honest, right? But for some reason, they're going to make me believe that Cody Rhodes is going to come out on top, right? He's going to have to humiliate The Rock. He's going to have to humiliate Roman Reigns. At this point, the idea that The Rock helps Cody Rhodes win the title at WrestleMania is, I mean, at this point, they can do anything with this horseshit storyline, but it seems like that's out of the way, right? It seems like that cannot possibly happen, right? It doesn't seem like that's something that is going to be in the cards at all, right? We can't really rely on that possibility any longer because that would make no sense, right? At this point, The Rock seems to have his own independent feud with Cody Rhodes. Now, The Rock can also enact an independent feud against Roman Reigns, and if that is played out really, really well at the tag match, then there's hope for something in the future, maybe even on night 2, right? The Rock's definitely going to be involved in night 2 one way or another. But the point is, The Rock really proved once and for all why he's a main eventer and why Cody Rhodes is a boring mid-carder. There is nobody, and The Rock means nobody, on the current roster that could do believably what The Rock did last night to Cody Rhodes. It would not work, right? Nobody has the capacity to be that good of a heel. The only one that could come close might be like Randy Orton or like LA Knight. You know, he has like that capacity to pull something like this through. But I think we'd all agree that even those two, who are great, would not be able to do it at the same level as The Rock, right? This was a complete one-sided beatdown. And in my opinion, it really lowers the value of the Cuckster Cucky Rhodes as a main event worthy talent, right? Main eventers, face main eventers, don't get beaten within an inch of their life by one person. We've seen these things happen before. Like we've seen, for example, like I said earlier, even though this is to a monster character where the rules don't apply, like one of the best beatdowns of all time was in TNA, where like Fortune just destroys Abyss. Like the beating was so bad that I started feeling bad. I'm like, oh my God, like this is enough. Because they're like throwing him on like barbed wire, like tables. AJ Styles eventually does like an assisted Styles Clash to him on thumbtacks, right? But it's like, it was like a 5-on-1 beating, right? 5-on-1 beatings can definitely turn out this way, right? When those masked terrorist types beat up Undertaker that one time, it's understandable because it's a 5-on-1. But even then Taker has a moment where he tries to fight them off, right? He gets some success, and the underpinnings of the beating are that if it were 1-on-1, there is no man that could beat Undertaker. Like no one of those guys by themselves could beat Undertaker. But in a 5-on-1, no man can beat 5 men, right? That's just not possible. So with that being said, Cucks, you know, this does not make Cody Rhodes look good. Now, The Rock just thoroughly beat him, and this was a long beating. It was a long, thematic, and story-driven beating, and The Rock sold it well with what I think is now a catchphrase that should go on shirts, and that says, "Look at him now." Boom. Look at him now. Look at him now, Mama Rhodes. Slap. Look at him now. Kick. Look at him now. Slam against the truck. Slam against the concrete, right? He even threatened to like essentially murder Cody Rhodes because there was a part where he's kind of like pushing him over this like ledge, right? And the idea there is like if The Rock wanted to, he could have murdered Cody Rhodes, right? Like that's how useless Cody Rhodes is. And there's one other thing that I do want to talk about that happened during this Raw that I think is noteworthy. And that is Shinsuke Nakamura lost to Jey Uso. I mean, I don't think I have to elaborate anymore. But one of the biggest stars in New Japan history has now been relegated to losing to one of the Usos. I think I rest my case. This just shows that any accomplishment you do outside of the WWE is completely immaterial, right? They couldn't have Jey Uso beat anybody else that would be considered elevated, but Nakamura, who is now, I mean, he's not even a jobber to the stars. Nakamura now is a jobber. He is an undercard talent. I don't care that he wrestled Seth Rollins, who is a mid-carder himself, for the mid-card title, right? I don't care about that. The truth is, Nakamura cannot even beat Jey Uso. You know what I'm saying? Nakamura can't beat anybody. I don't know when the last time was that Nakamura won a match of, certainly that won a match of any importance, but I don't even remember the last time he won a match, period, right? So with that being said, there's one thing I gotta say to you, and that's this. Look at him now!